hello, and welcome everyone in today's webinar. Welcome everyone. Okay, so we are starting very soon. In the meantime, let's get to know each other. So please put down in the chat where are you from exactly. So we get to know each other. Welcome everyone. Okay, first one is from Malta. Welcome, Steve. Okay, we have another one from Ghana. Welcome. Please write down where you are from, and shortly we will start. Okay, another one from Malta. Janice, welcome. Lucille, welcome from Malta too. Hi, Akachiku from Nigeria. Welcome. Oh, nice. Another one from Malta. Natalie, welcome. Welcome everyone. Just wait a few minutes and then we can start our webinar, but we have something special today. So stay tuned. Okay. Few more minutes and then we start. Okay, so we have the majority of today's attendees are from Malta. Welcome everyone. 2 more minutes and then we start. Okay, if you have new attendees, please write down where you are from. Just write down your country or drop your flag. Okay, we have a new one from Nigeria. Welcome. Welcome everyone. 1 more minute and then we start. Welcome everyone. Okay, I think now it's time to start our webinar, but the special thing that I told you about in the beginning is that today's webinar, we are going to have a small conversation group before starting the webinar and the presentation. And in this conversation, I will have two of my colleagues who are going to join me for this special conversation around documentation and the importance of it in today's business. Okay, so everyone, welcome to the stage. We have Joseph. Hello,
Hi,
Joseph.
hi there. Hi, everyone.
How
Hi,
are
it's
you
good to
today,
be.
Joseph?
I'm doing amazing, man. Thank you. How are you doing too?
Good. We also have another special guest with us today. It's also one of my colleagues from Malta. So we have Joseph from our team in Ghana, and now we have another colleague from Malta. So everyone, welcome, Lucia. Yeah. Okay. Hello, Lucille. Can you hear us?
Hello, hi everyone. Thank
Hello.
you.
Hi, Lucille.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm doing fine, thank you. Looking forward to having this conversation and presentation all together.
Thank you. Okay, so as I said in today's webinar, we are going to have a special conversation around documentation. And to start with that, we have our first question. So both of you, from your your own perspective, I would like to ask you, what do you think is documentation is important in today's business? Who's gonna start?
I can start off.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
listen
Ladies
to that.
first.
The
Okay.
lady in red.
I think the most direct and obvious answer to why is documentation important today would be compliance. Starting off from the necessary, the financial reporting standards which we are used to, and moving on to the upcoming standards which were more recently introduced, like ESG and also DORA requirements. Documentation is important for audit trails, for organization, for transparency, so we cannot do without it. However, beyond doing what we need to do, keeping the documentation safe and all, just for the sake of having to do so, beyond that, it's also because it is also efficient for our business operations. So having one centralized knowledge management solution, which helps us increase efficiency and improve also accountability, transparency, and risk mitigation, basically. So, in a nutshell, I think that would be why documentation is mostly important.
Yeah, yes, totally agree with you, Lucille. Documentation is really important when it comes to knowledge sharing, and I think the part where you talked about compliance is like especially important in the case of your region of Malta. Okay, so Joseph, what do you think?
All right. So, yeah, please, am I audible enough? Can you hear
Yes,
me?
yes,
Yes, yes.
very well.
Okay. So I think I'm joining you from Ghana, and I'd say documentation. I mean, one of the very main importance that first of all it enhances efficiency in whatever that is at hand compared to a tax that we can talk of, because that's it helps in actually being able to track the history of something, to even be able to project and forecast. So from what I said, especially in Ghana, we love the meticulous type of documentation. That is, we want to do it by the books and always in sheets. So a typical issue you would have in a Ghanaian setting is that you'd have two people with different titles to a particular land, because each and every one of them have different sets or levels of documentations. So it's difficult to reconcile who exactly the property actually belongs to. And that's one typical part of it. So we believe so much in the manual process of getting things documented, that we even take advantage to also create, I mean, other duplicates that are false. So that is quite the nature and culture of documentation in here. Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree. And I think like now after COVID hit, a lot of people moved to remote working. So having documents centralized like in one place, accessible at any time from anywhere is really important. Like because like you will have people who will work remotely and people who will have like who work on the office. So having like information centralized in one place and documented is really important. And now, if we move on to the next question, which is like, what are like the side effects of, let's say, not digitalizing your workflow and not digitalizing your work? So, can you talk like in specific case studies about this thing?
Sure. So, unfortunately, I would say in Malta, there's this misconception that in order to buy a software for your business, it will be too expensive. And I think it's one of the reasons why many businesses, especially startups or small business owners, keep themselves back from actually investing in a good system. However, when you look at the costs of actually implementing a basic system, one could say that having a basic system to run your operations can actually be at times cheaper than setting up your own website. Now, no business would dream of having a website, of not having a website for their business, because they want visibility, and without being there, you cannot do anything basically in business. However, they over kind of see the importance of actually having a good software solution to sustain their ongoing operations. And when you are starting up or you are a small business owner, you are at a very sensitive time in your business journey, because you need literally all forces to be with you, and you cannot afford unnecessary room for error. Um, uh, that, however, since it is usually perceived as an extra cost, and we are after visibility mostly, we have our website, everything is set, all set there and done nicely. Then we have the first client, and we start to panic, so to speak. How am I going to have the purchase order? How am I going to invoice stuff? How am I going to record the documentation? And the real trouble begins, so to speak. It's good kind of trouble, but it's still a headache. And in order to mitigate this state of nice panic, to put it this way, we start making do with what we have, using Excel, using emails, and our versions of freeware mostly, or cheap versions of software which we can use. However, on a day-to-day basis, we encounter these same business owners who a year ago would have started using these systems to make do with what they have. However, they are at a stage where they need to grow, they need to scale up, but obviously they don't have a functional system set in place. And that creates bigger problems. So the kind of money which you would have saved at the beginning, you will lose, or you will risk losing later on throughout the process of actually growing your business out. And everyone who starts off a business wants to grow. No one starts off a business to keep it at that, you know. And at that point, then the other stage of panic would be that I have opportunities, I have more clients coming on, I need to grow, but I am keeping myself stuck. And I'm keeping myself stuck because I didn't invest in the beginning rightly as I should have. So what we do suggest our clients to do usually that right from the start, they invest responsibly in their own system in order to, okay, they have their budget, everyone does. I mean, no business has endless flow of money, okay? So cash flow is an issue it's a common issue that many businesses face, and it's natural in every phase of the business journey as well. And we are aware of that. However, there are solutions which can not break the bank. And you have a solid basic foundation which can scale up once your business is ready for growth. So in that way, you can know that myself, for example, as a business owner, I am investing in something for which I'm not paying anything extra because I'm still using the functionalities which I need at the moment. However, it is capable of scaling up once I am at a later stage throughout my business journey. And in that way, it mitigates both needs, so to speak, without breaking the bank, and also having the a sense of safety of being able to reach the potential of your business journey throughout it all.
Nice, nice. Totally agree with you, Lucille. And I think it's not only like the problem about like let's say losing money, but it's also about wasting time, like putting more effort and having like a lower productivity. So it's really like a big problem. So Joseph, what do you think about this?
Yes, so I really appreciate the angle Lucille actually attacked the question from. And I mean, I would speak to the fact that, normally, as in the daily bulletins about how economies in Africa are not actually moving at par with the speed of the world. But I would say the lack of the digitalization or documentation in Ghana actually has vast disadvantages. There are quite a wide spectrum. I mean, especially in the government sector and public sectors, where this digital transformation could actually streamline operations and improve transparency. We don't have those systems there. And without these systems, the most popular word in Africa still thrives, and that's corruption. Because then we can have some sort of due diligence to trace, like to be able to trace the sort of the monies that move around, because there's limited traceability, and the opportunities to efficiently track these transactions and processes are lost. Okay, a typical example is in the healthcare sector, for instance. The non-digital records impact patient treatment consistency and long-term care. So normally you find these long folders that are given at these health facilities, and then the following day we need to actually give some sort of care to whichever patient that came yesterday, and then the folder we can actually find due to a particular disaster or the typical African story, a certain huge snake came to swallow those papers. So we can tell that the disadvantages are vast. I mean, the impact goes on even to businesses. The absence of digital infrastructure, like Lucille mentioned, I mean, it complicates processes like tax filing, regulatory compliance, and some data-driven decision making. So, as companies cannot easily access centralized data or analyze trends efficiently. So, I think with that being said, the need for us to have this conversation is very paramount. I believe I've added some different, let's say, spice to the entire conversation. So
Yes, yes, you did, and you really stress out the importance of this problem. So we all agree that there is a problem and there is a need for a solution, like to centralize all this data, all these documents in one place in order like to help teams work in a more productive way, in a more efficient way. And I think so Lucille is with us today to present for us a solution for this problem, which is developed by Onpoint in-house. So we will leave the floor for Lucille to present to you our solution for today. Okay,
Thank you so
so
much.
Lucille, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Maybe we can put
Yeah.
the slide deck visible. Thank you so much. So, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining this webinar. Today we will be dealing with presenting attachment viewer. Apart from myself, who, as I earlier on explained and it was mentioned, I'm the business development manager at Onpoint, and together with Stephen Abela, who is the director at Onpoint, we will be showcasing the benefits of attachment viewer as an add-on for Business Central. As a brief introduction, so the agenda for today would be a brief introduction of attachment viewer, a short demo. We will explain how you can access it, and then it will be followed by a Q&A session. The attachment viewer add-on was developed in-house by our team. Its main functionality is to actually very basic to show attachments or documents which are posted in Business Central. Instead of having to download the invoice or the document every time, it saves time because you can just have a quick view of the particular attachment which you need, and without also having the risk of having different documents which are separate from whoever is accessing them. So basically it will be all combined in one space, which is the space provided by Business Central, obviously, on the Business Central platform, and it would be visible for everyone across the organization. This was particularly developed to actually facilitate document management and also enhance productivity. Some history about how this add-on came to be. Basically, it all started off with a request from one of our clients. So one of our services, beyond providing licenses to our partners who are Microsoft, and also providing support, is actually developing particular add-ons or as required, anything which is required for our clients to tailor make their own solutions. And this was a particular case in point. It started off in June 2023. And as you can see throughout the timeline, we upgraded through different versions of this add-on as we continue to improve on this particular function, on the functionalities of this particular add-on. So we listen, we see how things can work for the best, and we continue to improve, and we have actual different updates and versions every 2 months, basically, so far. So we can now proudly today launch the latest version of Attachment Viewer, which we will be seeing in a few minutes. Seeing the success and the also need for this add-on, we decided that it has a very strong potential, and we actually went global with it. And these are some of the countries where the add-on is actually used by some of our clients. And as you can see, we have clients in Malta, clients in the UK, in Sweden, in Australia, in US, and in Malaysia as well. Since it is a very basic add-on, however, at the same time, it is very efficient. So, and at the same time also, however, unfortunately, it's not offered as a standard in the standard version of Business Central. So that is why we saw a lot of potential in this add-on, and why it is also going well. And that's why we wanted to share this with you. Why choose Attachment Viewer? So basically, it offers a clutter-free experience. It saves time because you have everything gathered all in one place. It provides organization of different documents, and also for increased compliance, which is a salient issue across all organizations, basically, in different industries. Some of the key features of Attachment Viewer are the drag and drop functionality, which makes it even more easier to include the documents necessary within Business Central. You can print them if you want to, or if it's for some reason necessary within the policy of the organization within which you operate. It has a quick view option as well, so while you are browsing through, you can easily access it as well. And you have everything allocated in one location, and you can also remove some documents which you need to remove if need be. This is also, however, controlled, as we will see in the next few slides, and as later on Stephen will show as well. Okay, so this takes us straight to the demo session, which Stephen will be taking care of, and then I will be back to follow up after Steve.
Hello, everyone. So our colleagues have raised very important points in relation to documentation. We won't be going through Business Central. We believe that it doesn't need an introduction. However, anyone who actually needs a more thorough introduction of Business Central, we're happy to assist. In any case, our focus today is Attachment Viewer. So first of all, let's start off by showcasing like the marketplace. So it is available on the marketplace like any other add-on. So you can obviously use the standard way of downloading it, downloading the free trial, and then sort of acquiring it through monthly or yearly fee like any other add-on. In any case, it's very easy to set up, as we will get to see, and very easy to implement through the marketplace itself. Now, going back to Business Central, the beauty of the Attachment Viewer is that we can easily, as we mentioned, attach documents, but also get to view or download documents. So obviously the first area which comes to mind when it comes to documentation is definitely purchases. So like suppliers or purchase invoices, purchase orders. There are other areas which we believe, as we will show as well, that it also needs to have proper attention and where we need to upload any documentation, such as, for example, agreements. But in any case, the scenario is always exactly the same. So it's always exactly the same feature, irrespective of the page and the area that you're working on within Business Central. So let's go directly to a purchase invoice. Now, this is the purchase invoices, which we're very much used to. And over here, we get to see attachment viewer. So it's a nice sort of fact box, which actually displays the PDF itself. If I had to open the purchase invoice, it could be anyone which of your choice, you actually get to see in the details section the the PDF or multiple PDFs that we have uploaded. It is very easy to delete a PDF from the system and in order to upload the PDF, we have already mentioned that we can easily like drag and drop it, or simply clicking over here and actually uploading one or multiple PDFs or any other attachment that you can have. The nice thing about PDFs is that we can actually get to see them straight away, even without downloading them. Further on, the system allows us to just to get a full view of the PDF in question simply by clicking on this button here, which ultimately displays the PDF for us. Obviously, it could be in any number of pages. So when we're saying PDF, it's not just one single page, but it could be whole documents. Or alternatively, we can simply go to the same tab again and instead downloaded it from here. And the system just downloads it for us. So obviously it's up to the user to retain and to use whatever feature they would like. Adding further PDFs is not an issue at all. We just once again click on the same button and we download the other PDF. It could be like multiple ones. This one, as you can notice, we have uploaded like a whole document. So please feel free sort of to use it as much as possible. As it has already been mentioned by my colleagues, the key aspect of the system is to have one centralized space where actually we have all the documentation, where we retain all the documents pertaining to that invoice, that supplier, that customer, whatever the contract, whatever it is. We we believe that having Business Central as a focal point, both in terms of transactions, but also in terms of data and documentation, we believe provides quite extensive benefits. There are more interesting features from the system, so I don't want to pause this one because we are on a demo site. So if I had to go to attachment viewer settings, I can easily must download the attachments. Obviously, this cell is rarely used, so it is not something which is used on a day-to-day basis, but there are times, so for example, like during vetted MPs, where we need to must download the PDFs that we would have uploaded. Downloading it is very easy. You actually click download attachments, and then you decide which ones you want to download. And these standard filters of the system would then apply. Moreover, an interesting feature, and which actually showcases the strength of this extension, is the page settings, which allows us to make visible or otherwise the attachment viewer feature in the respective pages. As you can tell, like there are quite an extensive number of pages which have this feature. Each page, obviously, will retain the documentation pertaining to that record that we are on. So, as we mentioned, it could be contracts, it could be some kind of deeds, it could be like even like plans or like technical designs, whatever it is. So any documentation can easily be uploaded in the system and made available to any user depending upon their respective permissions. One other new feature, I'm pretty sure that many users out there will be happy about, is in the post-purchase invoices. So we are now given the right to attach a document even in a posted invoice. So, for example, I'm attaching this one here. So I have this one already, but I want to add to attach an extra document. However, even though this is a very strong feature which has been requested um, too many times, we must admit, from our customers. However, we must admit also that it does present some kind of risk because obviously, like we're risking that someone would actually delete by mistake or otherwise crucial documentation in their posted transaction. And that's why in the user setup, we have implemented a tick button, a Boolean field, which allows you or otherwise to edit posted documents. As you can notice over here, if I had to untick myself, so once again, having access to user setup requires specific permissions, and from the user setup, you can then define who is allowed to add or remove documents in posted transactions or otherwise. If I had to go back to my posted purchase invoices, I can't delete any documents. So it is a very, very important feature. So um, obviously, features always create some kind of benefit, but also disadvantages. And through the user setup, we are mitigating the disadvantage by simply being very specific on who can amend posted transaction documents or otherwise. Attachment viewer is very, very strong feature, very strong tool, but at the same time, very simple. And this actually brings us to the very end of our demo, because as we mentioned, like it is like simply drag and drop or choosing one or multiple documents, um, actually viewing the document in question, or possibly even downloading the document in question. We have also mentioned that we can also like mass downloading documents, which is a very useful tool, especially in those rare but actually important circumstances where we need to mass download the PDFs which have been uploaded because of some kind of audit or perhaps some kind of checks which we need to run in our system. So I give the floor back to my colleagues, Iman, Lucille, and Joseph, or yours.
Thank you, Steve. So back to our presentation. So as Steve very well showed us, attachment viewer is quite simple to use. However, it's very effective and crucial to facilitate the process of work, basically. Just to highlight the most important points and summarize in some what has been said. So the most important aspects of attachment viewer are actually the user permissions, which are there to mitigate the risks. The attachment viewer page visibility, which controls who can access the particular documents in question, and the bulk attachments download functionality, which was also explained and mentioned by Steve a few moments ago. If you would like to download it for free, you can scan the QR code which is visible there. We have a 30-day free trial, so at no cost or no obligation, through which you can actually acquaint yourself with it. And it is also available on the App Store as explained earlier on. So some of the benefits of attachment viewer are its increased productivity, it reduces room for error, and also it's very much cost effective. So those are the prices, so that everyone can have an easy reference to how much it will cost. We have two plans, 50 euros monthly or 540 euros yearly. And obviously, if you are interested, we encourage you to reach out to us. And in order to reach out to us, you can contact us via email, depending on the country you are in. And you have all our contact details there, basically. So while you can download it in your own time and at your own pace, in case you find or come across any difficulties, we are still here to support if need be. So feel free to reach out to us as needed. I think that now it's time for the Q&A session. So I invite back Stephen so that we can tackle any questions which the audience might have.
Thank you everyone. Thank you, Lucille. Thank you, Steve, for this presentation. I hope it's clear for everyone. So now we will pass to the Q&A section. So everyone, if you have any question, please write that down in the chat, and Lucille and Steve will answer them. Thank you, everyone.
It seems we're very clear about it. No questions, no questions. Is it available on PC Mobile as well? Yes, yeah, that's actually show into your business center in your business center app. As it's actually it's integrated into business center. Any further questions?
If you have any question, guys, please write them down. In the meantime, Lucille and Steve, if you have anything like else you would like to say
One
about
key point that one
yeah,
interesting point that we need to mention is that this system is not restricted to any localized version, because obviously there is no posting here, but it is attaching a document or multiple documents. So actually, it can actually be implemented by anyone anywhere in the world. Joseph, is this the latest version? Yes, it is. Well, obviously, the users, since downloading it from the marketplace, they will have latest version updated as time goes by. So when we're actually updating our business center, we have to update also together with our IT team the extensions and the add-ons, including this one.
Okay. Any more questions, guys, about attachment viewer add-on? Also, if you have other questions around Business Central, you can also share it here.
Something which I can add perhaps as well, it can be sold as a standalone add-on, so there's no need to have be our client basically, but it can also be sold as a standalone add-on, and yet we will be here to support as need be. So we have various clients, as we were mentioning earlier on, and it caters for different industries, so everyone has the same processes when it comes to accounting. So that's the benefit of the solution, basically. Okay, perhaps if there are no more questions, we can move on to the next slide. But if you have any questions later on, you can feel free to reach out to us and we will be here to answer.
Sure. We will send a follow-up mail, like with the links to the marketplace, where you can download attachment viewer, and also put on all our contact information to reach out to us anytime.
Before concluding, we would like also to invite you to stay tuned to our upcoming webinar, which will be about BizView, and we will be launching this budgeting solution actually on the 21st of November. So we ask you to save the date so that you can learn more about it. So I think that's all from our end. And we thank you all for your time. Back to you, Iman.
Thank you, Lucille. Thank you, Steve, again for this webinar. I hope everyone found it. Hello again, Joseph. I hope everyone found it helpful. And as I said, we'll send you all the information in the follow-up mail. And do not really hesitate to reach out to us for any question around attachment viewer add-on or Business Central. We are here to help you all and support you. Thank you so much for attending. Any final notes before we close?
So I think we'll all keep in touch, and we look forward to hearing from our prospective clients and to solve the problems or queries which you might all have. So we encourage you to stay tuned.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you so much for attending. Thank you.